live, yeah. So I'm just going to grab a left. Calorie intake and whatnot. I don't know if this it saves either, but if it does, then that's like perfect. It's good content for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Just there we go. I think that's a bit better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just have a little chat and see if anybody leaves any comments or anything. I'm blind, so I can't see. If anybody's
I can't see from here.
Yeah. So if anybody's writing anything, we might have to just have a look now and again and just see.
Yeah.
What's being said. But yeah, I mean,
what we're talking about? What's the topic?
Oh, I'm guessing it's strength to some extent.
Yeah. Some strength stuff.
Yeah, and then obviously like current climate. I think maybe discuss that and like what you're planning to do and maybe what I'm planning to do. Because the gyms are closed now, aren't they? So
yeah, closed tonight, didn't they?
Yeah. Which I think for a lot of people it's put them into, especially people like train quite hard and they're quite focused, quite dedicated. I think it's maybe sent them into a bit of overdrive. I've had a few people that have messaged me already asking if they can rent equipment, if they can come to my house and train. Right, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think that's what people are doing. If you know someone with like a garage gym home workout.
Yeah, I mean, I know Finlay said he's got stones and whatnot.
Yeah, it depends though, doesn't it, how strict they are about staying in and that. Yeah.
And obviously you're putting yourself at risk if...
And the other family, maybe, if you go to someone's house, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I am particularly concerned, I'll be honest with you.
No, training-wise, no.
Training-wise, no. What's the point of stressing? It'll come back quick. By Christmas, you should be stronger than you were before.
Yeah.
There's no drama.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, like, physically, if you've got background in training, you've built up that mitochondria in your muscle cell anyway, so it's always there. The muscle memory.
You've got muscle memory, yeah. Yeah, it will come back fast. You haven't got... I think people worry too much. Like I said, I put on Instagram today about that Alexiev, the weightlifter, when he had the interview, and they said, what do you think? Because obviously he was the champion, he was Olympic champion weightlifting for years, breaking all the records, that Ray Evers, someone like that, weightlifters on there. Yeah. But he was close to him, and he was basically asked, what do you think they're missing that you've got? And he said a big injury that puts him out for a year. Yeah. He said, when I was out for a year, I rethought about all my training, like what am I going to do to move forward?
Exactly.
Didn't do anything, came back, started breaking records. So it can be a good thing. It can be, rather than panicking about what you can do right now, think about what you can do to set yourself up to progress after.
I agree. Yeah, I think like sometimes a little bit of downtime is a good thing. Just like because we can get so like, especially for people who train really hard.
Yeah.
I think you can get very tunnel visioned on what you're doing, and that to some extent may actually hinder you because you're not thinking outside of the box.
Yeah, you could just be blindly doing something that isn't really working, so you've got time to assess it. You might be having issues with mobility that you've not really, you need to sort out, but you haven't bothered.
In my case, absolutely.
Same for me.
Yeah, like since I've been training in the strength facet, as I've said, like on many occasions, like even struggling to like tie my shoelaces, which is I'm quite embarrassed about, to be honest with you. Somebody who sort of like prides herself in being physically fit in the past, like elite level fitness, to go to a point where I'm actually out of breath and struggling to tie my shoelaces. Yeah, it's quite embarrassing. So I agree with you. Like this could be a really good opportunity, even for myself, just to focus on that mobility, on that range of movement.
Do you think as well how many people, if you're a serious trainer, chances are you've got at least one niggle? Probably more.
Multiple.
Rehab it, get it right, come back to training fresh. How often do you start fresh? Like you've always got niggles somewhere, but you could end up, if you focus on the mobility rehab, bit of prehab work, you don't need to be heavy for that. You can come back feeling fresh and being in a place where you can progress faster.
Yeah.
It ain't going to take long to get back. Depends how long the show, obviously. I can't see him being open for 6 to 8 weeks myself, but yeah, I'm just guessing like everyone else.
Oh yeah. Like, as you said, like you think how many times you actually get a full body recovery. Realistically, you most probably don't, yeah. Like if you're training consistently, you don't.
No.
So yeah, I look for the positive in the adversity. Really, like, you know, it's a good opportunity to reassess. Yeah, I'll have a look, see what people are putting. Okay. Yeah, so nobody's put anything anyway, but it's we can just keep chatting. Yeah, it's about general stuff. So, like, I mean, for myself, in terms of training, obviously I've got like a number of plates. I think I counted it to about 150 kilo worth of plates. So that's pretty good, really.
Nice.
Well, I was thinking personally, you know, from to continue with like bench, squat, deadlift, and try and get them numbers either like, well, just try and keep them at a plateau at the moment. Got a really thick band, floor pressing, going heavy on the floor press. As long as I'm able to get it up, you know, so I think that's going to be one of my ports of call.
Yeah, do the old school pull over into press before they had the bench rack. That's what you used to do, innit?
Yeah, don't see why not. Thinking also about like bread and butter exercises that people maybe neglect when they're training. I know you put them in with my programming, like dips and pull-ups. If you've got access
to great exercises out there.
Do you think about people who are in prison? They'll use anything to like be able to do like a pull-up a day.
Yeah.
You just got to some extent you've got to get creative. I put like that posted today saying about like bullshit workouts, and as well as, you know, like myself and you and yourself, we're both seeing like these workouts popping up, which are like for generalised fitness and for like well-being, yeah, maybe good. More for our facet, I don't think they're really gonna provide any benefit. Like doing like air squats and push-ups are not really gonna increase your strength gains.
No, they're not. They're not even really, in my opinion, stuff like that isn't really even going to slow them down that much, depending how long you're off for. If the gym's shut for a week, 2 weeks, you're probably not really going to lose any strength anyway if you've trained hard.
No.
But if the gym's shut for a long time and if you're say benching like 220 kilo, doing press-ups, it probably ain't going to help really retain that strength.
No, I don't think it is. That's terrible. That's my kitchen sink. There we go. Right. Yeah, you know, ultimately, if you want to get stronger, you've got to push poundage, haven't you?
You need loading, and you need your adaptive stimulus is that heavy loading. So if you go down to bodyweight exercises, you're probably not going to get the stimulus. You should be focusing mainly, I think, on stimulating muscle protein synthesis if you can, just to retain muscle.
Yeah.
Well, it is possible. But my kind of, not an issue with it, but my kind of thoughts on it, yeah, I'll probably do some. But is it really going to be a massive difference between not doing it? Probably not. I think it's more for mental well-being, keeping a bit of blood flowing. I think there's other areas, like we said, the mobility stuff, it gets a little bit of core working, I suppose. But stuff like that that's probably going to be more advantageous, learning about programming, things like that, rather than
knowledge,
gaining knowledge. And if you're looking for a good book on bodyweight training, Josh Bryan, he had the Jailhouse Strong. Right. I think that's on an ebook, and that. I haven't read it, but
what was it? I was looking for. It was years ago when I was into calisthenics. It was like some sort of like prisoner workout with I can't remember the brothers anyway, but they'll come to me in a bit. I like read through that, and that was quite informative, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting take on strength, not the strength facet that we're on about, but like just trying to think. Yeah, like relative strength, I would say. Yeah. That was interesting. I think I got that off Andy Ketley, the guy at our gym who's got like does all like the
big calves.
Big Calves Andy. Calves Andy, if you're on there, yeah. I don't know if you remember giving me it, but like, yeah, it was just like it was an ebook, but he printed it out for me. So,
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, like, so like, because I know you was talking about using accommodating resistance before, obviously, all this kicked off with the bands and whatnot, for like a block.
Yeah, I was thinking about using them. Mainly because I hadn't really used them before.
Yeah.
So just a different stimulus.
Yeah.
And just to mix it up a bit, I know it gets kind of people, you should stick with, not necessarily actually, but I think it more applies to beginners, intermediate lifters, where people say get as much out of the straight weight as you can before using bands and chains, etc., which is great. I kind of agree with mainly, but I think the enjoyment of training supersedes that to an extent, because if you enjoy the training more, and it's mixed up a little bit, you're going to train harder, you're going to get better gains.
I agree with you, like even down to a coaching aspect of it. You know, like I have different clients. I have some clients that are very, very focused on the like goal orientated. I have some that are like sort of a little bit focused, they want to make gains, but they're not like, you know, like, do they stick to a program 100%? Most probably not. And then you've got the ones that are just doing it because, you know, they want to sort of like feel good about themselves. So I'd say like the latter two categories, keeping it interesting, keeping it varied, providing some sort of mental stimulus is extremely important. Otherwise, you're just not going to stick to it, are you?
Exactly.
I think the best program is the one that people stick to.
Yeah,
they're most consistent, and it soon comes to your diet as well, I think. You know, like you don't need to have like the perfect diet. I mean, my diet is pretty fucking shocking at the moment, to be honest with you. But it's a means to an end. Like, you know, like for me, realistically, it's about calorie intake at the moment. As long as I'm getting like protein content of a certain amount and the calorie intake is high enough, for me, you know, like that serves its purpose. I stay in relatively good shape. Obviously, not everybody will be able to do the same, like different genetics, different things, but you know, it's pretty consistent. 4k a day, 200 gram of protein, couple of like 2 or 3 litres of water. I can stick to it.
It's everything is working, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's working. I think depends who you talk to. I know there's a big thing at the moment about don't eat like calorie dense foods when people will put up on their Instagram, or you can't eat ice cream, you can't eat this and that, which, yeah, it's not the best food source, but if you're struggling appetite wise and you've got to eat a lot of calories, get your protein in, get your micronutrients in, etc., and then build up the calories however you can. If you can do it from better sources of food, great. If you're struggling, you're better off, in my opinion, adding that kind of food in and actually being in a calorie surplus so you can gain muscle versus
definitely
trying to be too clean, which most people do, and I can't gain weight.
Unsustainable.
No, you can't gain weight, and mentally they're going to burn out a lot of the time. They're eating foods they don't like all the time.
Exactly, yeah. As I said, like depending on the person, depending on their goals, and depending on their seriousness of their goals as well, will dictate whether somebody's going to stick to something or not. In the past I've eaten super clean, and obviously at the moment I don't eat very clean at all, but in terms of body composition I would say, you know, relatively maybe a bit more body fat, but not a lot. Certainly one of the heaviest I've been.
Yeah.
I'd say like there's maybe one occasion where I've been a bit heavier, but you know, it's working.
Yeah, I think genetics will dictate as well to an extent. You get people who gain weight on 3,000 calories or just looking at food, and they've got to be more careful as a rule. But they can be more careful because they're not having to consume as many calories, which makes it easier.
Exactly. You've got to, you can look at it either negatively or positively, can't you? You know, if you're somebody who is a hard gainer, you know, and you can eat a ton of food and you still stay lean, in my opinion, that's fantastic.
Yeah, especially if you want a diet and want to lose body fat, your food's going to be pretty high, you aren't going to be as hungry.
Yeah. And vice versa, if you're somebody who puts on mass pretty easily, at the end of the day, you're saving money for a start.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be concerned about, like, you know, getting as many calories in per day.
No, in my opinion, I always find it harder to eat when I'm not hungry than I do to not eat if I'm really hungry.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like gaining weight, but
no,
because it's harder for me. Like getting leaner is pretty easy comparative to a lot of people, but
yeah, I would say ultimately the same for myself. Like you know, if I didn't clock my calories using MyFitnessPal, I reckon it would be at maybe like 2k per day.
Yeah.
Whereas for some people, it's the exact opposite. They're tracking the calories, but they're tracking to keep them down. Yeah.
If you really want to gain properly, I think it is important because it's so hard. Like even I know when I've dieted down before, because I've been doing this a lot of years and setting diet plans a lot of years, I've got a good idea of how many calories I'm consuming, etc. I was off when I put it in my fitness pal. You know what I mean? I thought I'm on this many, and I was actually overeating.
Yeah, it's easier to do though. Do you know, like I don't know. I think a lot of it's about being honest with yourself as well. So, like for example, say if I have a tablespoon of peanut butter, is it a heaped tablespoon or is it a level tablespoon? You know, like even though that's like a minuscule point,
it can add up.
It can add up over time. Of course it can, yeah. And I can be out by like 500 easy.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been clocking calories since I was 12-year-old.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? So like even for like people like ourselves who have been in it for a long time, you know, yeah, I think it's still good to be mindful of what you're consuming.
Yeah. And I think as well, some people can actually burn out doing it. I think doing it year round isn't necessarily a good thing. I know people who've done it, and serious trainers who the big guys who don't track anymore just because they burn them out, like focusing all the time how many calories in that.
But yeah, at the same time you think like somebody like there was like either that professional strongman or bodybuilder, that's a fucking lot of time spent like eating and tracking, you know. So yeah, I can understand completely where they're coming from. Don't know if we've got let's have a look what this is. Yeah.
You're just getting trolled.
Just getting trolled by all these twats. No, it was just who was it? It's Matt from the gym just asking how we're doing. Yeah, fine. Like I think I just said to Neil as he came in. You know, it is what it is, but what can you do? We don't have like any definitive answer on what's going on at the moment other than the gym is closed, so you know, what can we do about it really? There's always opportunity in a negative situation, so it's just a case of maybe thinking outside the box. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are in the same boat. Like a lot of self-employed people are obviously going to be struggling now, but there's going to be something that's going to be put in place, hopefully, and we've just got to play it by ear, really, I think.
Yeah, same. It's closed, there's no point stressing now,
There's not, no, exactly. I don't know if there's, like, if you've got, like, any, like, because I know you were saying about setting up that programming, like, potentially, like, as, like, even an ebook, that could be a really good...
Possibly, or something just getting it out fairly quick. I was going to do it anyway, but now is the perfect time.
Yeah, so
I've got more time.
That's what I mean. Like, you know, one of the positives that we've got at the moment is the fact that we have got more time. Since January, I've been absolutely saturated, like dead on my feet. 6 o'clock in the morning, finish at 9 o'clock in the night. In a weird way, I'm actually quite pleased. The fact that I'm not having to go into the gym, like, it sounds pretty bad, but at the same time, it's like it's going to give me a little bit of rest time. And again, just time to think about like how I'm going to move forward. I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to get the programming set out because what I'm thinking of is I've got clients, obviously, who are more strength-based training, more performance-based. I'm thinking more, what can I do for those guys? And for my clientele, home workouts are not really what they need. They aren't really going. They don't have the equipment to do it unless you've got the bar and barbells and plates, etc. You're going to be struggling. So I'm trying to figure out what can I do to help those people most. And it's probably more information going forward than it is actually what we can do right now physically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I think. Yeah. So like, going back a second, like I've got quite a few pieces of equipment. It's not ideal. It's obviously not the same as being in a gym, but there's enough to create a stimulus. I think for those who are maybe like thinking about buying stuff, what do you reckon? Like in terms of like equipment for this period of time. I know, like obviously, all trail of thought is have a rest.
Yeah, if you can get equipment, get equipment. If you want to get equipment and you've got the finances available to get like a rack and a bar and plates, brilliant. That's probably going to be your best bet. If not, then even I'm wary about saying get resistance bands. They're going to do a little bit, but are they really going to be like night and day? Not using them, probably not. Might help a bit, gives you a bit more variety to do. I don't think you're going to gain that much off them, but I think they're a worthwhile purchase if you can get them. Places to do pull-ups, dips, stuff like that would be beneficial if you can do those. I think just working on technique, even without loading, can help.
You was on about visualization as well, weren't you?
Visualization helps. Yeah. So if you, even it sounds daft, but just visualizing the lifts, getting them perfect, going over technique. What issues do you have with technique? Is it a mobility issue that's restricting the ideal bar path? And just go over it, and when you come back, you're not going to be as strong, but you're going to be in a better position to move forward.
Yeah, I think that's really solid advice, to be fair. Yeah. I had a little look on Gumtree and Facebook as well, and obviously at this point in time, everybody's like trying to sell equipment. So if you're thinking about buying anything, now is the time. It might be a little bit more expensive, but who's to say whether you can actually get hold of anything within the next couple of weeks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone wants to come around to my house and train, you're more than welcome. You just need to make sure that you've got a corona screening test done and it's negative. Yeah. Let's just see if there's any questions or anything. So quick look. I think there is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Should we wrap it up there, you reckon? Got anything else?
Is there any... What questions might people ask? Obviously, no one's asking them, but I think a couple.
Yeah. Okay, so let's think about like different facets of training. So obviously, strength is one. We've sort of gone over that a little bit. What about like hypertrophy, weight loss, body fat percentage loss?
What while during this period?
Maybe just in general. Like, I don't know if you've got any thoughts on like anything that maybe people might be misinformed about, or you think is a really good piece of advice to give to somebody that maybe the general don't really understand properly.
I work with quite a few guys with hypertrophy. Obviously, building muscle is one of the big ones for performance, especially strength. Like, you've got muscular adaptation, that's going to be a massive one.
Yeah.
Building hypertrophy, my general go-to is create enough of a stimulus for hypertrophy, get out of the gym, rest up, recover. At the end of the day, when you go to the gym, as everyone knows, you're not building muscle in the gym. When you leave the gym, you're going to be weaker than when you first went in. It's during the rest period when you're eating, that's when you're going to get bigger and stronger. Make sure you hit that stimulus in the gym, which is hard to know when you've done it. If you can train really hard, you're going to get there quicker in less sets. If you faff around a bit and don't really push that hard, you're going to need more sets.
Yeah. I think for myself and for the clients that I train, I think hypertrophy is most probably, I'm not going to say easier to obtain, maybe not. I just think there's more tools at your arsenal. As you said, as long as you're exhausting those muscle fibers to some extent, then you're most probably going to create some sort of response. So, like, strength-based, maybe disagree with me, I don't know. I think it's like more to do with the pattern building aspect of it. Obviously, you need that hypertrophy there as well, because mass does move mass. But from a hypertrophy standpoint, as I think we've said before, like, you could do like a high rep set at moderate weight and still create a response.
If you went to failure,
exactly.
You need to stimulate the high threshold motor units otherwise.
Yeah. So I think there's like maybe a bit more variety when it comes to building muscle mass. Would you agree?
Perhaps, maybe.
Yeah,
I think, I see what you mean. You get different types of working, I suppose.
Yeah, so like even like down to like, there's I'm going to say like advanced training methods, like what we did the other day, the rest pause, like grid setting. Just trying to think of some of the things that you'd do.
Yeah, you've got a lot of variations. You've got muscle rounds, rest balls.
You've got a lot of tools at your arsenal potentially if you have that knowledge.
Yeah, if they're applied correctly, they'll work.
Even just straight sets of like 10, as long as you're pushing it.
Yeah,
it's going to work, right?
Yeah, I think sometimes people misunderstand how to. They'll see people doing slow reps. Like if you do a slow negative on the way down, great. It's not a bad thing particularly, but you don't want it to limit loading, so you don't want to go too slow. But if you're pushing up slowly, you're not going to get the same response as if you need to push up slowly because the loading's high, if you know what I mean. Right. So if you've got a load on the bar that's pretty easy for you, and you start pushing it up and it's going slowly because you're already pushing it slowly, you are going to recruit the muscle fibres that you're trying to hit.
Right, okay.
Versus if the load's heavy, and you're moving the weight slow because the weight's heavy, because you can't move it fast. But you're trying to move it fast.
Yeah, because even though it looks slow, you're actually firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, that's when you're activating all your muscle fibers. So you want to be always basically make sure that you're focusing on the muscle group and then move it as fast as you can.
Right, okay. Yeah.
But it's focusing on the muscle doing the work as well with hypertrophy.
Yeah. And the one thing that I've noticed as well, like, I feel like my muscle density is more so now than it has been before. But realistically, I know you've like the way you've set up my program is most probably like a bit like a power building style. But still, a lot of it is like heavy trebles, you know. But I feel like they've created some sort of like hypertrophy response. So
because the weight's heavy. You're moving the weight.
And it's really weird because like my mentality before was like, if I'm not absolutely fucked, I've most probably not had a good enough workout to create a response. But in reality, it's not always the case. I think like it's the effort in relation to the time.
Yeah, I think the whole pump, that's irrelevant.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, it feels good, like you feel full, you look good, but is it actually creating like that stimulus that you require? I think for me, like, the reason why I do like a power building style is because you create that response at the beginning, and as you work more towards isolation, you're actually like, I don't know, say you're at the end and you're doing like a 20 rep set and you're pumping up that muscle, you're getting that blood into the area, and it's actually helping with the recovery as well.
Yeah, is it the metabolic damage creating hypertrophy? I think that's probably a thing. If you're pushing to failure, you're going to stimulate all the muscle fibres as much as you can. Yeah. So you're going to create that response for hypertrophy.
I think power building is a mint style.
That's how I've always trained.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is. I never wanted to be strong and small. I'd rather be muscular and strong.
And vice versa is true as well. I remember at some point, like, I wasn't massive, but I was like pretty big, and I think it was when I went down to West Storm, and I remember like playing the first match, driving in with the ball and getting driven back like 20 odd yards, and it sort of proved a point to me, like, you know, it's pointless in being a paper dragon. So, you know, so realistically you want the best of both worlds, don't you?
I think when people look at someone who's muscular, their first thought is strength. Like, you look strong.
Yeah, and to be fair, if you've got a lot of mass on you, the chances are you most probably are relatively strong.
Agreed. Yeah.
But are you strong in relation to your size? That's the question, I think. You know, somebody could be like 20 odd stone and look mint, and they can push mostly more than somebody who's 10 stone. In fact, almost guaranteed. But are they strong in relation to a 20 odd stone powerlifter, strongman?
No, then I don't think exactly would be, generally.
That's what I mean.
So you get a lot of guys, like, they're trained by JP guys who are fucking strong.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I like that style of training.
And what's that style of training?
Low volume, heavy loading.
Yeah.
But there's working hard every set, and it's focused on progressing strength.
But
in a certain rep range.
At the same time, they're aiming for hypertrophy.
Yeah, they're all hypertrophy, and they're the biggest guys about. Generally. That's what I mean. Saying that before someone says anything, you're getting the guys doing a lot of sets but we're also getting big. So there's different ways.
Many ways to skin a cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's have a look, see if anybody's put anything else. Just waves. Go on, give us some content, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I reckon we'll wrap it up, eh?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to save. If that's saved, that's mint. We can put that out.
So.
But yeah, I mean, even just for myself, mate, just talking to you about that. I know we have chats all the time, but quite informative. I reckon
it's always good.
We could do a couple of these, I reckon. I think it'd be good, like, once we get a bit of traction, I think, you know, it could be just a really good thing for everybody, like people watching, ourselves. Right, we'll wrap it up there then. So, yeah, thanks for coming down, mate, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Good. Let's see if we can